Hey there, everybody. I am re-recording tonight's Make It With Me Monday because I apparently had a really glitchy feed when I was trying to do it live. So I'm going to start over completely here. If you saw some of it before, it might be a little glitchy or in pieces and parts. So here it's going to be all together, and hopefully this is much clearer. All right, I'm going to start by showing you some of the products I'm using tonight. The first one's going to be in the new catalog. Hopefully you have one of these, and if you don't, give me a holler so I can make sure to get one out to you. I'm going to be using the designer series paper that is part of the Countryside Inn collection. It basically uses all of our really pretty blues together. So you've got balmy blue, misty moonlight, boho blue, and night of navy. And then there's one single stamp here with lots of different patterns that you can see throughout. So you could use that all together, or you can just highlight one of them. And there's a set of dies then that match to cut out all of those different shapes. So kind of a fun suite. I haven't used the stamp yet. I've been pairing my flowers in this set with a carryover set called Dainty Delight, and you can find that on page 22. And it does have a matching die set as well that I have die cut some of the flowers out to use on my projects. So here's a little peek at the designer series paper. There's some cute animals, some pretty florals, and this one here is what I'll be using tonight, the one with the white base with all the tiny flowers. And on the back sides are just basic prints, and again, those pretty blue colors, balmy, boho, navy, and misty moonlight. So fun luck. You can pair number 63. Online exclusives, I'm going to be using Ready. This is one of the stamps that's in there. I'm also going to be using the Tropical Leaf Bundle, which is a punch and stamp set. The big one. The little one is really easy to see, so that one's really easy to work with. And then for on camera, I'm going to be using the Irresistible Blooms, which comes with a matching set of dies. The dies will also cut out some of the images in the designer series paper, which is a 6 by 6. So these images here could be cut out with dies. And some of these, like this one here, is one of my favorites because it does all the work on your card front. You can just use this with a phrase up in the corner or something, and you've got a complete card. So there's Daffodil Delight and Flamingo, and the greens are Seafoam and Lagoon and Peacock. So, and then the other sides have just these model-y colors, muted colors, ombre patterns, things like that on the back side. All right, so you can find that all in the online exclusives, and I will give you links to that in the descriptions with the when I post the pictures. And then there's a little set of gems. These are not adhesive back, so you will either need to use a drop of glue or a glue dot or something to adhere that to your project. But those come in Daffodil, Flamingo, and Peacock. All right, let me move all this out of the way, and we will get working on what you need for tonight's card. Okay, so you needed a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to be using soft Seafoam. You need a piece of designer series paper that's 1/4, that vertically. So again, mine comes from that Hello Irresistible designer series paper. You needed a square that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 in neutral, and then put images, phrases, whatever you want to use to decorate that up. So I have, this is my sample from before, so it's already done and stamped. I just removed it from I just basically just assembled the card and put it on with you. So my Seafoam for tiny leaves, Lost Lagoon for the hello, and then the new Lemon Lolly for the flower. Okay, and then you can either choose a second designer series paper or a second color cardstock. You need a piece that's 1 by 4, and I have Lagoon. Okay, so here is your card base. Make sure that you are going in the vertical direction. And don't worry about my little rippy part here. I disassembled it so I could reassemble for you the right way, hopefully without glitches. Okay, so adhesive on your design series paper, and you are going to place that not quite all the way over to the left edge. Leave a little bit of room because your other piece of cardstock is going to cross over that, and that leaves a little gap for it to kind of help fit in. Okay, and then you're going to take that 1 by 4 piece that you have that's either designer series paper or cardstock, and you're gonna kind of make an L shape, so to speak, just like so. Then you can decide with your square if you want to do dimensionals or not. And I have dimensionals on the back side of mine. And then this is going to fill in the difference in that space right there. Okay, so that is the base pattern. Where did I set my card samples down? Here we go. Here's the stepped up version. So what's different here, I add an extra layer, still soft seafoam, and I used an embossing folder. So there's an embossed layer behind everything. And I did use 2 different designer series papers this time. And I die cut the flowers from the DSP, so they're a little bit more vivid. And I used those gems. I added a piece of Lost Lagoon behind my square as well. So that's a little bit of a couple of you can step. I don't have to do all of those. A bunch of ideas. Back down. There we go. Now you can see them of what you can do with that. So here is the tropical leaf version. This is one of the new colors called Copper Clay. It's one of the new in colors, and I used the punch for that piece there. I fussy cut those 2. Like I said, the small leaf is super easy to fussy cut, and then I took those long the pieces that are kind of like the trunks of the leaves, stems of the leaves, whatever that might be. I stamped it twice, once on the base cardstock and once on my square, so it looks like it's kind of continuously going down here. And then this is a faux suede technique where you crumble up the paper and then you kind of separate it, and then you have the inside fibers showing through. I did a video on it a while ago, and I will repost a link to that, and so you can see how that gets made. It's really kind of a fun, for texture purposes, it's really fun. It's really soft and fuzzy. Here is the rhino version. This is the Zoo Crew DSP. On the other side of those cute little zoo animals are a variety of black and white patterns. So this is definitely very much black and white with just a pop of greens. This is Mossy Meadow, I believe. And then I used my blends to color in the rhino. And I used the Stitched with Whimsy dyes in here. And then I just colored some of those areas in with my marker to kind of make the frame that goes around him a little more, because that gets big. And here's the version of that DSP I showed you earlier. And then that phrase, of course, comes from